Starting a digital marketing agency is exciting. There are several things that you need to do in order to launch it properly. I'm a big believer of the very first thing that you should do is validate your business idea by having someone pay you for your services. Once you've done that, you need to start thinking about reducing your risk. Because if things go sideways, people could sue you for everything you own. Now, I don't want you to think that that is a scare tactic. It's reality and it happens all the time. And this is why forming a formal company is an important first step in your journey to starting a digital marketing agency. With a company, you protect your personal assets and they are separate from your business assets. So if something does go terribly wrong, you won't lose everything. This is an important step that you need to focus on, and I'm gonna talk you through how to set up what is called an LLC. My name is Eric J. Olson. I am the CEO of 3 digital marketing agencies, and I'm also the coach of the Business of Agency Mastermind. The very first thing that you need to do is decide on the entity type that you want to open up. Now, first and foremost, you have the sole proprietor. What that really means is that you almost don't even really have a company. You are operating as the person and the company all in one. And you have all of the liability of not even having a company. You're just declaring that you're operating as a company. I definitely do not recommend doing this. The second kind of entity I want to talk about is the LLC, a limited liability company. Now, an LLC is a separate entity from you personally. You, as an individual, will own the LLC. The LLC itself will own assets like this flip chart and that camera, but you own the LLC. So in effect, you own it just through a separate entity. An LLC protects your assets and it encapsulates all of your liabilities within the LLC. So if someone sues the LLC, they can't get to you or your assets personally. They can only take what belongs to the LLC. The final entity types that I'm going to talk about are what's called S Corps and C Corps. Now, these are much more sophisticated kinds of entities. There's a lot more paperwork and filing requirements that go with them. And typically, you will create an S Corp or a C Corp when there are many shareholders. Think, as an example, public companies. That's what these kinds of entities are created for. I don't have a lot of experience dealing with S Corps and with C Corps, although my LLC does file taxes as an S Corp. So I'm an LLC with a little bit of the benefits of an S Corp, which you could do as well. You'll have to talk to your CPA to figure out how to get that done. But I am not technically an S Corp or a C Corp. Much more sophisticated. You may want to stay away from that. I highly recommend an LLC. Step 2, naming your LLC. When it comes time to pick a name, you should be very thoughtful of the name that you select. You're going to have to live with this name for an awfully long time. Every time you write a check, every time you sign a contract, you're going to be using the name of the LLC in its full format. So you don't want something that's too long, something that's too complex, something that confuses people. You want it to be pretty short and to the point. And it also should reflect your brand. So think about your brand and what you want it to represent. The name of your LLC is exactly the same as the name of your company name, except at the end, it has LLC. So put a little bit of time and a little bit of thought into what you want that name to be before you go register it with your state. The next step is to actually register your LLC. There are a couple of different ways that you can do this. The easiest way is to go to your state website and register it there and pay them directly. In the state of Virginia, I can go to the SCC website, provide some basic information like my name and address and a $100 fee, and download the LLC certification in 5 minutes at the most. Very fast, very easy, very cheap. That's the way that I've done it multiple times, and I think for your first LLC, that makes a lot of sense. Now, as you become a more mature company with more at stake, it may be worthwhile to engage either a service like LegalZoom or an attorney, especially if you have a business lawyer that you work with a lot. I've done this for our agencies where the attorneys will put together not only what is needed to file for the LLC, but other documentation like operating agreements and things like that between partners. It's more expensive for sure to go to a third party, and it is slower, but it's more secure and more thorough. For your first LLC, get it yourself. Step 4, registered agent for your LLC. At this point, you've selected the name, you've registered your LLC, you are in business. But actually, there's one more thing that you need to think about. Registered agent. The registered agent is the formal person by name, by address, maybe even by phone number, depending on your state, that is going to be publicly seen as the face of your company for legal purposes. If someone were to, as an example, sue you, they would send the lawsuit to your registered agent. Now that could be you, or you can have a professional registered agent. My registered agent is my lawyer and his law firm. That does cost a little bit extra, but if I'm going to get sued, I want the first person to find out to be my lawyer, and then my lawyer can figure out what's going on and contact me. But here's another benefit. My lawyer's name is publicly on record with my companies, not my name, not my email address, which means that I have a little bit of anonymity. It makes me feel better to know that my name and my email and my phone number aren't out in the public sphere. You can do what you would like. Certainly if this is your first business, it probably makes a lot of sense for you to be the registered agent. But when the company becomes a real company with a significant amount of revenue, it's time, more likely than not, to get a professional registered agent. Step 5, getting an EIN and opening a bank account. At this point, you have your LLC certification and you have a registered agent. You have everything that you need to operate as a business. But wait, there's more. The IRS will issue you what is called an EIN, that is an employer identification number. Now, you don't have to register for this, but it's incredibly convenient when you want to identify your business by a number. This is similar to a social security number for you as an individual. You can get this on the IRS website at irs.gov, and it's free to get. Just provide your LLC information and you can get your EIN very quickly. Once you have that, take your LLC certificate and your EIN information, you can go down to a bank and you can open up a business bank account. It will require both pieces of information. So you'll need an EIN to get a business bank account. The reason you want a business bank account is because you need separation to continue, not just legally, but financially, between you as an individual and your business. So when you get a check and someone writes it out in the name of the LLC, you can deposit that into your business bank account. That won't go into your personal bank account. When you have a business expense, you will pay for it out of the business bank account. You can look at that business bank account and see all money in and money out, including what you pay yourself from the business bank account back to your personal. This is a nice separation of finances. You do not want to do what is called commingling finances. If you do this and you do it to a very large extent, there's a possibility that you could deteriorate the separation between your person and your business to the point where the LLC is actually meaningless and doesn't provide you any protection. You want to keep your business legally separate and financially separate. So really, here's the lesson learned. If you're going to start a digital marketing agency, you need to protect yourself. And the best way that I have found to do that is through an LLC, and that's what you want. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this video. We are going to be posting follow-on content on a regular basis on this YouTube channel. If this was helpful, I'd appreciate a like and a comment and a share. You can find me online on LinkedIn and Instagram. I post a lot of content like this. I also have a book called Journey to $100 Million on Amazon. If you're interested in finding out more information or joining my mastermind for agency owners, you can check out businessofagency.com.